Now I have something a bit special to show you today. About 2 weeks ago, a supporter of J4MB and Real Fathers for Justice, which is led by Ray Barry, one of our candidates near Nottingham in Broxtowe, called me and asked if we could do with another van to help with the campaigning. His name's Silver Surfer, and I said, yep, indeed, Silver Surfer, that would be really, really helpful, you know, to take leaflets around door to door and all that kind of thing, to take our A-boards around. Why do you ask? He said, since we both share a love of classic vans, let me ask you this. If you had the choice of any classic van in the world, what would it be? And I said, well, I mean, I suppose the ultimate fantasy, of course, is a 2002 Ford Escort 55D in dark blue. Well, we're extending the fantasy there. But I believe last week, or the week before, one of them was sold to, I don't know who to, for over £1 million at auction. And he said, that's quite right. It was a Christie's auction, and it fetched 1.3 million. It was a London-based Russian oligarch bought it. He has two others, which obviously kept under very heavy secure conditions. Well, he said, I've got you one. I said, yeah, righto. But he said, no. He said there was some guy in Scotland, some old guy in Scotland was selling one, and he had no idea of the worth. He had it on eBay for £950, so I paid for it on the spot, and now it's yours if you want it. Well, I was just stunned, as you can imagine. Apart from anything else, it can be used during the campaign, but afterwards we'll be able to sell it, get over £1 million, and that will be very useful indeed. So what is it that makes the Ford Escort, the 2002 Ford Escort 55D, so special? The main thing is that it had a number of specifications that no vans had before. So let me take you through the interior. So we start off with door mirrors. Very useful to know what's coming from the left, and there's one on the opposite side, so you know what's coming from the right. And there's a little toggle there. I don't know if you can see it, but that's a fantastic thing. That means you can actually position the window any way you want. So drivers of different heights can use it. Very clever. Now this was another first. This is something that blows warm air onto the window, so stops it steaming up. The original vehicle license disc, of course, we don't use those anymore. And it was, of course, I mean, famously the first van in the world to have windscreen wipers. I mean, before that, you know, vans were always colliding with other vehicles in rainy weather, so that was useful. Now it gets really special. Now this here is a device for blowing warm. Well, let me start with this. This is a device for putting out either cold air or warm air, and you can direct it to independently to the driver and passenger. So it's like you can have your own climate. So if one of you likes it very warm and one of you likes it very cool, that's what enables you to do that. And a fan here. This is quite something. A fan, you can either turn it off, have it on slow, medium, or fast. That's really something. This is to, what's this for? This is to blow the air onto your face, onto the windscreen, onto your feet, and windscreen, or just onto your feet. So you're spoiled for choice there, really. This again was a world first for a van. It's an atomic. It's a clock that's linked into the atomic clock in rugby, and it's accurate to within 1/1,000,000th of a second, which is really useful. It doesn't actually have a minute hand, but it's very, very useful to know it's that accurate. And the red light going off there, that's to prove that, or that's to indicate that the signal from the satellite is working, so you know exactly where you are. Now this, I've got to say, is a bit of a mystery to me. It's a hole. I don't know what it's for. Perhaps it's for an umbrella. I don't know. I mean, it's a bit difficult to think of van drivers having an umbrella holder, but no, I'm a bit mystified by that. Now this is a clever thing. This is for adjusting the headlights when you have different loads in the back, because sometimes you might have sort of 40,000 leaflets in the back, sometimes nothing, so you need something to cope with all that. What else do we have? The world's first 5-speed gearbox, of course. Now, that fell off this morning. That was a bit annoying, but no, it seems all right for the moment. 5-speed, and of course, it was famous. Of course, I mean, this van is the only van in the world ever with a Rolls-Royce V12 supercharged turbocharged engine, and it has famously has neck snapping acceleration, and they actually advise you to put your head on the headrest if you're really going to accelerate hard. And only a couple of days back, I rushed past a Ferrari on the M1, and the look on the driver's face was something else. It really was a picture. Anyway, so he accelerated, tried to catch me up, but he finally gave up after I'd passed 140 miles an hour. Now this is a bit special as well for anybody who drove vans before 2002. A handbrake. Now, of course, the 2002 Ford Escort 55D was the first van in the world with a handbrake, which is really useful for delivery drivers, because they didn't have to go and find somewhere flat to park. They could actually park on a hill and deliver stuff. So that must have saved an awful lot of time. What else is there? Oh yes, now this is very useful. So three things on the instrument panel here. Now that's particularly useful. That's a drawing of this van, and the reason for that, I'm told, is so that you're not lulled into the belief that you're driving a Rolls Royce or something like that. It would be easy to do. A speedometer with miles per hour and kilometers per hour, but thank goodness we never went over to the silly European kilometer measurements. A fuel gauge and something beneath it. I'm not quite sure. That's a temperature thing, I suppose. But that's probably the temperature of the windscreen washer liquid, I suppose, something like that. What else? Speakers in the side of the door. That was very cutting edge. Now, there's a very clever security feature, because back in 2002, locks weren't as good as they are today. Security wasn't so good, and Ford came up with a brilliant idea around that, and that was this. Now, anybody wanting to steal a car radio or whatever, will assume that there's no radio here, but that's actually a security. That's actually a panel, a fascia, that hides a very high class entertainment centre, I suppose you'd call it these days. Very, very, very impressive. And here we have it's in there, but the cigarette lighter, which is useful for lighting my Patriarch cigars as I'm driving along. And at night, there's actually a light here which comes out and lights up the ash, which is useful. You really don't want to be putting burning ash onto the carpet. That probably wouldn't be very good. Anyway, there was one thing that I was a bit puzzled by, and I'll show you. Up here, no rear view mirror, and I thought, dear oh dear, someone's bodged it up, someone's taken it away or something. But no. I called Silver Surfer and I explained to him that there was no rear view mirror, and he said, yeah, there's good reason for that. And what's that, Silver Surfer? I said. He said, take a look around. So I did. Yeah, slightly restricted view there of the back, I think you'll agree, so not much point of having a rear view mirror. So, I mean, I've only touched on the extraordinary specifications of this machine, but it's now the J4MB battle van, and it'll be a travelling advert for J4MB and men's rights. Over and out. Okay, well, here we are outside the van. Hopefully the sponge is working to keep the wind away. Now, what do we start with? Yeah, a couple of groundbreaking features here. In the corner there, lights, very useful on dark days or nights. Some Stylish alloy wheels, rather impressive, I think you'll agree. Now we come on to the signage, which is a joy to behold. Just done today. Let me see if I can get it in. So there we go. That's the signage on one side. Signage on the back. I'll try and get a better thing for this, but this is on the right there is our father and son image of father and son saying goodbye for the last time. Another for men's rights issues. The other side, similar at the front, but another for men's rights issues, and that's it. I think you'll agree it's a magnificent looking thing, and you can surely see why these things go at auction for 1.3 million.